Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lab Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the RUF BTR Type 1, the oldest RUF in the game, which bodes well, doesn't it? Yeah, these cars are interesting. Despite being the oldest one, this one did have a bit of an issue in the base game, which unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your way of looking at it, is fixed with the GT2 Plus mod. The Type 1 BTR had a very powerful turbo upgrade in the base game. Even though it's only a stage 1 turbo, I think base this car makes like 400 horsepower, and it would put the horsepower to about 670 fully upgraded. So GT2 Plus has pegged that back a bit. 480 horsepower. It's still a 74 grand stage 1 turbo, which I don't get what that's all about, but nevertheless, there you go. Something to bear in mind if you are going to buy a BTR in this mod. And you have lots of BTRs to choose from. There are 4, looking at my spreadsheet, in the GT2 Plus mod. So you've got the Type 1, the Type 2, the BTR2, which we have had already go around, and the BTR4 3.8. So anyways, this BTR, rear-engine, rear-wheel drive, 480 horsepower, 1,094 kilos, based on the 930, 911, I believe, so a proper Widowmaker, and it comes with side exit exhausts, and that's interesting. I like the intercooler on the front end. Anyways, this car is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Mitsubishi GTO LM Edition. At a time of 27.223, so the RUF BTR Type 1 unlikely to beat that. In terms of RUFs and this track, we have had several. All of them, apart from the CR4, which was a 4-wheel drive naturally aspirated one I drove, which was terrible. All of them are in the under 30 club. So with this being the oldest RUF, I think this should be the least powerful now as well, outside of some of those ones added with GT2 Plus, like the BR2 and the BR4. I don't expect to be particularly quick cars. My guess for this one is it's going to be very slightly outside of the under 30 club, in theory. I think having to look while I'm driving, which is never a good idea, especially on lap 3, so I'll stop looking while driving, even though I've already messed this lap up. Or have I, actually, to be fair? We didn't get a good bankering yet, so yeah, I think the RUF RCT is the slowest of the rear engine, rear drive ones, and that one's somewhere in the 29s, can't quite remember where. I love it how, even with me reading off camera and crashing into a wall, the BTR is still almost as quick as the CR4 on that lap, despite that. That truly does show you how bad the CR4 was. That is not a car I remember driving fondly. 29.811, okay, we are in the under 30s. Look at this. Quite a shock, really. That actually puts it so far up I can't see on my leaderboard. Does mean it's quicker than a Dodge Viper, so it's interesting how a car literally called the Widowmaker is less intimidating to drive than a Viper was. So there you go. I mean, admittedly the Viper, I don't know, I think, to be fair, I do make the joke of how these cars are Widowmakers and RUFs are scary, because I remember driving one in Forza 5, I think it was the Yellowbird. I drove and the front wheels used to lift off the ground just over 100 miles an hour. Bit of understeer there, which was terrifying. But so far in GT2, the RUFs have been pretty controllable, to be honest. Rear engine, rear wheel drive basically gives you like 4-wheel drive handling characteristics. So, you know, you get decent acceleration, the rear end feels pretty planted for the most part. It's just sometimes the front end, which is why we hit the wall. Partly my incompetence, but also we'll say this as well. Yeah, it's just the front end does struggle to bite in a little bit sometimes, but it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. And yeah, there might be a little bit more time in there. That's Sector 2 on lap 3, I don't think would carry over, if I had to guess. But yeah, there you go. Anyways, 29,811 means it just beats the RUF RCT into 61st place. Goes in between an Audi TT Coupe and the aforementioned RCT, quicker than the RX-7 Type RS, quicker than the Mercedes-Benz C43 AMG. Does lose out by about 0.2 of a second to the newer BTR2, which is progression. So over 15 years, RUF went 0.2 quicker, which is good. It's good. Yeah, that's not a bad car to drive, actually. Like I say, the RUFs, I've been saying that how awful they are, and I don't remember this from the original running of this series, but no, they're actually alright to drive, to be honest. I haven't met my match yet with these. Of course, I've got the Yellowbird and some of the really powerful rear-engine ones to drive, but yeah, so far the RUFs have not been particularly RUF. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.
Sorrow that my heart holds in, knowing just where my hopes and dreams are going. I won't let you back. Got up in a wall that you are not part of. Eyes on this letter, your father with love.